Morning. I'm Bruce Anderson, 4929 Fish Lake Road, Duluth, Minnesota, 55803. I'm going to take you back to August 9th, where Melissa Bell spoke from Melissa Bell's correspondence. I spoke at the last county meeting, August 9th, 2022, in Virginia, Minnesota. I asked for a formal meeting with you to discuss the information I have presenting regarding the conditional use permit granted to LTI Trucking at 6464 Friedenberg Lake Road, Duluth, Minnesota 55803. I have presented multiple times to the St. Louis County Commissioner Board, yourself, and others with the documents that shows that the CUP granted at 6464 Friedenberg Lake Road needs to be made invalid. As I have stated, I feel that the permit needs to be made invalid for two reasons. Number one, the septic permit was not in compliance at time of application, March 17, 2020, and upon approval of the CUP, July 1st, 2020, the county determined on July 14th, 2020, that the county sent 6464 Friedenberg Lake Road a notice of noncompliance for individual sewage treatment systems. LTI Holding did not submit a copy of a septic permit for this application, and after this CUP was approved, it was found that the septic system was in noncompliance. Second reason, the sale of the land occurred on July 14th, 2020, but the CUP was granted on July 1st, 2020. LTI Holding was not the owner of 6464 Friedenberg Lake Road at the time of application and at the time of CUP approval. This letter was sent to the St. Louis County Administrator. August 22nd. Good afternoon, Melissa. Thank you for your email and the additional material provided with regards to the CUP. It is my understanding that the time for challenging the validity of this CUP has expired. That this was confirmed by the district court in an order entered in June 2022 in Friends of Friedenberg versus St. Louis County Planning Commission. Case number 69-DU-CV-21-1257. And that you are one of the parties to that case. I have also been advised that on July 10th, you raised several other issues relating to this CUP and a number of other CUPs, and that those issues are being handled through the county's Planning and Community Development Department via the administrative determination process set forth in our zoning ordinance. Given these circumstances, I do not see the need for us to meet on this matter. Best regards. That's from the St. Louis County Administrator. Next day, and this is the last correspondence we've received from the County Administrator, August 23rd, day after. From Melissa Bell, responding. Mr. Gray, I am disappointed to hear that you're using the excuse of the 60-day rule to avoid following the rules as written by the St. Louis County. Under the terms of the application, it is clear that there's no timeline for challenging the validity of this CUP. The application is clear. Intentional or unintentional falsification of this application or any attachments thereto will make the application and approval of the application and any resulting permit invalid. The term will carries the same legal meaning as shall. It's not discretionary. This does not fall under the administrative determination process set forward in Ordinance 62-8.1.e. I am not appealing the conditional use permit at 6464 Friedenberg Lake Road. I am stating that the terms of approval make this conditional use permit at 6464 Friedenberg Lake Road invalid and asking for administration action. I am challenging Ordinance 62-8.1.c. St. Louis County Ordinance 62-8.1c, voiding of permits in error. Any permit issued on the basis of an application which is an error, whether the error is intentional or not, shall be null and void. Any permit issued on the basis of a mistake in fact or law, whether the mistake is intentional or not, shall be null and void. It shall be the responsibility of the director to notify the property owner upon discovery of an erroneous application. And this all started right from the application from LTI, right here, right from the application. If answered yes to any questions, they answered yes to a question. Information above. It is required that you submit a copy of a septic permit to construct or certificate of compliance approval or municipal sanitary district approval when applying for land use permit. It started right here. Next week's subject matter will be, next week's topic are what are the powers of the sheriff?
Thank you, Bruce. Next up, Melissa Bell. Good morning.
Nice to see you guys again, friendly faces. Again, my address is 6382 Bee River Road, Duluth, Minnesota, 55803. I did print out something for you guys all to have to go with me on this. It's kind of a review. What have we learned since we've been coming here to speak about Friedenberg, what Bruce talked about? Just some basic yes or no questions that really simplify this question process. So did LTI own the property at 6464 Friedenberg Lake Road on January 4th, which was their first application, March 17th on their second application, or July 1st when it was formally granted? If you look at the document, the property was sold officially on July 14th. So yes or no is the question. You don't have to answer me, but I know you guys can speak if you choose to. So that's just one question. So next question. Is it legal to submit a conditional use permit application by a person or business that does not own the property? And if you see, it says, I certify and agree that I am the owner. And as we just discussed, that didn't happen. Now, were the Director of Planning and Community Development, the Land Use Manager, Deputy Director, former on-site waste planning manager, and septic inspectors aware that the septic was out of compliance from 2016 and prior to July 1st, 2020? Now, I know it's a little small, but basically this was from 2016. It was Mark Toms, the prior owner of this house. And he was told a land use permit cannot be issued until the applicant obtains a sewage treatment permit and installs an approved septic system. This is from 2016, guys, 2016. Now the question is, did they know about this? Well, here's emails that prove it. Keith says, he acknowledges a similar complaint back in 2016. Then they go on to talk and things, and Keith says to Matt Johnson, he goes, if you don't want us to inspect, please let me know so I will call it off. I think that's kind of questionable in behavior. Again, he says later on, I didn't want to expect anything out of the ordinary, ... Later it says, Donald was asked about issuing the gravel pit permit this week, barring the septic issue as possibly not meeting the conditions of adhering to all other county requirements. We don't have a reason not to issue the permit. Please keep me posted on the inspection. Which, as you found out later on, that inspection didn't happen until, was it July 13th? So they actually waited for that inspection, because on July 2nd, Jason and Emily, who are inspectors, went to the property to visit. So I do find it very interesting that there was people asking for that inspection, but it was deliberately waited upon till after the permit was approved. So is it legal not to submit a copy of a septic permit when you're applying for the permit? It clearly says, if you answered yes to any of these the project information questions above, it is required that you submit a copy of a septic permit to construct or a certificate of compliance approval. This is pretty black and white, not many gray areas here. Is it legal for St. Louis County to not comply with any state, federal, or its own St. Louis County requirements that use the term required, will, must, or shall? Again, that's pretty straightforward, and these documents use those words. Is there a reason that Ordinance 62-8-1C is not being followed? And we've read it many times, but you see the word shall is in there. I won't be repetitive, but shall is in there. These are not may, it's shall. Ironically, when this pit first came about with the application, my husband and I were putting a new building up with plumbing in it. And we got a notice that we had done an improvement to our house or a garage and didn't put a permit in. I was very confused. Here, our lean-to had fallen apart and we had to fix it. We had no idea that a lean-to needed a permit, but apparently it does. So we had to amend our permit and get the lean-to back in approval prior to getting this permit. We weren't allowed the permit until we did this for a lean-to, just saying it out there. So the question is really, are we going to let the planning department pick and choose who gets to follow the rules and who doesn't? Is that what, so can we just tell everybody, don't worry about these rules, they don't abide, they're not going to make you follow them? Is that where we want to go with this? It's a very dangerous precedent what you guys are setting here. So you need to think about that. Last question, or two questions. Okay, who's responsible for correcting this error? If you see below, it's the director. Last question, is it acceptable for the director of planning and community development or any other county employee to correspond like this? And again, I comment about the throat punching of a few people. And the topic is 6464 Friedenberg Lake Road. So it's regarding us, a dislike for us. And yes, we are strong, but thank you for your time. And look forward to seeing you guys on the 13th.
Thank you. Next up, Clayton Sitch. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Clayton Sitch, and I represent the town of Friedenberg. I'm on the town board, and I'm here to ask the same question. When will we be receiving the inspection reports of the gravel pits in our township? It's been a little while now, and I'll be back. We don't get them, so I guess we all have time to listen to me. I guess that's all we can say right now, because wherever you go, I'll go. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, Ole. Or that was Clayton. Ole Olson up next, and then one more to follow. Are you pitching for the Twins today? They might need you against the Yankees.
I think they'll probably get paid more than that. As I do better than half.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Ole Olson, 6464, and that's not where I live. I can drive a golf ball to that place. I live at 4931 Fish Lake Road, along with my beautiful bride Janet and our wonderful doggy Oregon. I'm not gonna take a lot of time here because what I have to say is a repeat of what Bruce Anderson's had to say and what Melissa Bell has had to say, and we've all said it several times over the last many, many months. What has to happen, that needs to be a cup that is recognized as invalid and taken off the table. It's a responsibility of this board to act on that, and it is a responsibility of the Planning Commission director to take action on that permit. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Stanley Hendrickson.